That's not exactly what I'm trying to say. It's just you know what I'm saying.
No, I do. It's too much for me. I could never pull it off. But if I could give it away and get credit for it, it does add to my gravitas. It adds to my abilities. Maybe that'll make my phone ring, right?
Yeah, right.
That's what I'm trying to get at. And you know what? Hey, here's the deal. If it worked and a lot of people benefited from it, at the end of the day, good. I'm happy with that.
Amen.
I'm good. You know what I mean? I've got a lot of karma repayment to be had, and
is that true?
This would be a way to make a big dent in that debt. You know?
Yeah, don't be hard on yourself.
No, I'll tell you. I think I've told you this before, but the girl with the coffee shop, that was the nail in the coffin for me. That was the day I said, that's it, I'm done. I didn't walk that day, but mentally I checked out after that day.
Right. Yep.
I
remember.
I could not justify in my head, because at the same time, here I am dealing with Pizza Hut guy, and we're covering Pizza Hut guys OD on a couple of days to the tune of, $100,000 a day.
Yeah.
And my orders, I got handed, her, one time we went out and met with her, and the next, 2 days later it was, I'm saying, no, I think we can save her, I think we can do these things. And it was, no, you don't understand. You got to go shut her down. You're too valuable to be dealing with that. You need to be dealing with this. And I just was sitting there going, that's not what a community bank is supposed to be. That's not what we're supposed to be doing. This is not why we're supposed to be here. And nobody wanted to listen to me. And I was like, what is the Pizza Hut guy doing for us that she's not? Nothing. It's the same deal. It doesn't matter how much he owes and how much she owes. He's costing us money right now. She can be fixed in less than a week. Didn't matter. Go crush it. That's when I lost my faith. Sorry. That was it for me.
No, I get it. Well, and
but you know that story.
Yep.
Okay. As a lender, as a small business lender, you would look at this as a positive thing.
But yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. Based on your experience in the banking industry with small businesses, you would look at this as a positive.
Yes.
I'm marrying this with, because you had mentioned CRE. In my mind, you can do this same type of thing on a tenant. See what I'm saying? To reinforce that commercial real estate. So if I own a building and you are my tenant and you are a dentist, I don't give a fuck what. And so somebody comes in and underwrites your business and you pay X amount per month to guarantee the lease that you have from me. So if you go down, I still have some coverage on my cash flow. The bank is very supportive of that because their cash flow is, their debt is supported. It gives real estate an opportunity to deal with a vacant space versus oh crap, now I got a vacant space. And it keeps me from having to go and sue the dentist and sue that and all the expense that goes along with all of that. It just, everybody gets paid and everything is done.
Yep. I mean, now he's more in, for time's sake here, cost that you would have with all those other things, than simply the recovery.
Yeah, at that point, it starts to become a paper push. Don't get me wrong. I think you'll have arguments and you'll have fights between lenders and the insurance companies, but how is that any different than when you get in a car accident and there's an argument between insurance companies? There's no difference. It happens every day. The beauty of, in my mind, of this is the borrower, if they're a plumber, that's what they know, is they know the plumbing business. You remember, we had one or two of those guys too. And in my mind, they don't know to get a lawyer. They don't understand. They don't get banking. They don't get all the regs. They don't get all the stuff that it does. Well, that surety that you're paying, they do understand that. And so now you've got that borrower has a partner, lack of a better term, that's working with them on the extrication of the credit. They have a workout guy like me, maybe, who comes in and says, hey, bank, guy's got issues. We're going to help put together a workout plan. You're going to like it. He's going to like it. Everybody's going to be happy because that's in the best interest of the surety because they don't want to pay out.
Right.
I've kind of sold you is what I'm saying.
How long have you been kind of like, what was it after was it after you were trying to develop the other deal that just kind of came to mind?
It's something I've been playing with for a while. Understand the majority of, I won't even say the majority, all of my ideas are all dependent, and this is just one of several. They are all dependent upon the economy tanking, which, how long have I been telling you this is going to happen, right?
Yep.
They're all, the problem is that no one wants to listen to you when times are good. They just don't want to believe it. But when things shift, as they have, and as I've been saying for years it's going to, and then the climate that we're getting ready to head into, that is when people start listening. Because now they start seeing all this shit. You and I both know that all the crap loans are going to rise to the top, because they always do. Yes? The problem is they bring a lot of good loans with them. It's not necessarily the bad loans I have any concern with. It's the good borrowers I want to try to help protect.
Right.
And in my mind, those are the people that if we can keep them together and they can keep pumping along and we can put things like this in place, the other side of that is, and I'm looking at this from the perspective that we are a consumer-driven economy. Your coffee lady. What I'm saying is, after that, I had no choice. She filed bankruptcy. Imagine in this case, even if she had gone down, she would have walked away. There'd been nobody chasing her for the deficiency. There would be no need for her to file bankruptcy because she didn't have a judgment against her. She got a judgment against her, so her beacon score dropped, obviously. She had to file bankruptcy. That kills it. We are a consumer-driven economy. What if we can keep a lot of these borrowers out of that environment? Their bureau score stays up. They can be consumers. See my point?
Yep.
That to me is a big deal as well.
Keeps things moving forward.
Yeah. Rather than constantly every 10, 12, 15 years, we take one of these big bites in the ass, and a lot of it's banking. It's bad. But last time it was mortgage.
Yeah.
This time it's going to be commercial real estate and consumer debt. It's going to be car loans and RVs and boats this time. And it will have an effect on the mortgage industry, surely. But this time is going to be more, commercial loan driven, but it's going to have an effect on everything.
Right.
And there's nothing I can do about that. But what I'm saying is, what if we can do things that we can start to plug in as this is happening to help us get out of it faster, but also prohibit some things from occurring again? I guess my biggest problem is we still do business like it's 60 years ago, and we know where all the flaws are. Why don't we just change it?
Right. Right.
It's not that hard, is it?
No.
This is how I've kind of analyzed it for me. And then again, keep in mind, I've worked for 3 banks. 2 of those, I've been an employee. I've worked for several banks, but I've been an employee of 3. 2 of those were in trouble, for lack of a better term. One was, in not just regulatory trouble, but it was also during the recession. Then the next one I went to had a bunch of just crap that had to be cleaned up because they had gone out and bought a bunch of distressed banks, again, during the recession. They still had all that crap to deal with. And then I went to you. Well, where you and I met, okay? And I say all of that because maybe it was just my experience, but I don't think it was, because I talk to a lot of people and I have a lot of special asset people that I talk to. So I don't think my experience was unique, but let's put it this way. When I was in high school, they give you those tests, right? And these are the things you should consider doing as a career because it fits these personality traits that you have based on this test. And, everything that came up, I remember it well, everything that came up for me was like military or policeman, doctor. It basically said you have this personality that wants to help and wants to assist and yada, yada, yada. And I think that's very true. And I will tell you that I say that's true because in my previous life as a workout guy, the ones that I always had, when I went out and partied and celebrated, it was because I had just fixed something and we had gotten it on paper and it was funded and it was closed. But I didn't shut them down. I got them through it. Everybody was happy. Employees kept their jobs. The business stayed alive. That to me was success.
Yeah.
Okay? And those are the deals that I celebrated, lack of a better term. And the reason I just don't think I can go back into it again is that again starts to become maybe the antithesis of who I am. This way, I'm helping people. I'm helping banks and I'm helping borrowers, but I'm trying to help employees stay with their companies. I'm trying to help all these things. I get a better sense of satisfaction out of it.
Yep.
And I sleep at night.
Yes. Yep.
Okay? That's about the best way I can explain it. I hope that makes sense.
It does.
And
it does.
That's why I say I don't think I can go back.
I'm with you. I agree with your desire to not go back and think that you can leverage the value and knowledge that you developed in that arena in other ways and outside of it.
And that's what I'm trying to do by doing all of these, coming up with all these ideas is in my mind, if I can affect change in the largesse for the good, then even if I can't, personally profit from it, I'm still good. I had an effect. I will tell you directly that I'm not looking at, to me, this is a way to help commercial borrowers, commercial real estate, banks, and so forth. Okay? And it has a wide-ranging effect if it works. Frankly, I want to take this type of idea and I want to move it over to residential leasing, but at a much simpler level. Think car insurance, right? It's the same concept, is that if you rent an apartment or you rent a house, you pay, for lack of a better term, a renter's policy that if you bail for whatever reason, the landlord is paid. And you don't have a landlord chasing you down through the court system and getting a judgment and fucking up your bureau and all the nasty things that come out of it. You may not get a job because of it. All the crap that comes as a result of somebody chasing you, right? And as a bank, if you've got debt, say on an apartment complex, well, if this is a much better way to help them maintain 90, 95, or even more % occupancy. Because if people have a life event, they lose their job, they're in an accident and can't pay their rent, whatever the case may be, if we actually had something similar to this involved, and again, it's just like car insurance. It's just a case of, if something bad happens, the property owner's taken care of and there's nobody chasing you. You can go get another apartment. You don't have to worry about your previous rental, right? Because the only thing anybody should give a shit about is, did they lose money on you? If they didn't lose money on you, you should be good. That's all that should matter.
Yeah.
Right? And what I'm saying is that bad things happen to good people. You and I both know this. Why not take an idea like this and you put it in and make it very similar to, everybody understands car insurance. You pay a premium. My car's covered. If I hit somebody else, I'm covered. It's the same concept. I pay a small premium every month. And if I have a life event, if I get a job offer and I need to move, great. I turn in, I file a claim. My current lease is taken care of. If I had any damage, it's paid. Now, I may have a higher premium on my next place because I filed a claim and there was money out of pocket, but I can still get an apartment. I may have a higher premium, right? But my premium is all based upon if I had any claims. There's no difference between that and your car insurance. Your car insurance premium goes up if you've had claims. Same concept.
Yep.
And this, again, does the same thing. So I told you it was 3 or 4 pronged. And my idea is that if you can initiate this, you can put it down for commercial tenants, you can underwrite commercial loans, you can underwrite commercial real estate, and you can also underwrite tenants, both commercial and residential. And the whole thing flows. The banks are reinforced because, well, for obvious reasons. But the biggest thing is the average person who bad things happen to, or that average borrower, that small business borrower, they ain't getting crushed.
Yep.
And our economy benefits from it because people aren't getting crushed. They can move on. They don't take... I saw an interesting statistic the other day. I don't know how true this is, but I did read it, that the majority, from an age perspective, of the homeless are baby boomers. And it is a large part of that is because they've gone through so many economic declines in their lifetime. They've gotten beaten up enough, some of these folks, that they haven't been able to come back from it. A couple of recessions, right? The early 80s, gas crunch, yada, yada. You think about that. There's a little bit to be said in that.
Yep.
And what I'm saying is, I'm not saying that we're never going to have a recession again and things aren't going to happen again. I'm just saying, but what if we can just make it so that everyone has the opportunity to be able to move on if it just doesn't work out? I
Yeah.
don't understand why we have to crush people because things don't work out.
Right.
And I think this is a way that we can mitigate that. And if you could make it large enough, you could get enough insurance companies interested, that would drive down premiums as well. Hell, brother, you could actually potentially lower interest rates just on this, because you could take out that, what, half point, 3/4 point that we build into loans for loss?
Right. Yeah.
Think about that for a minute. That's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm trying to do. And I'm a much happier person for it.
Well, I like it, and I like hearing that too.
Well, I'll tell you what, I got an idea on how I'm going to do a couple of things. I may pick your brain. I know you're going to be out driving the next couple of days, but thanks for the call. Have a nice evening, and I'm going to go take care of the boys, and I'll probably reach out to you in a day or two if you don't mind.
Yeah, do it.
Thanks, man. Have a good evening.
Yeah, good to talk to you. Good to hear your voice, and hit me up again. We'll chat some more.
You got it. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Bye.